Facebook. This is new, Julia. I'm liking this.
I know, it's really cool doing it.
It's
not like being on the telly because it's Facebook, so nobody's watching. We're all right. We can have a play.
No one's watching.
We can do whatever we like.
There are people watching. There's quite a few people watching. I've got the iPad here. Yeah.
Good.
We're gonna give you a little sneak peek now. A little sneak peek to the one-day special tonight that launches at 6 o'clock this evening.
IndigoBlu.
IndigoBlu, and these are. I'm gonna put it out there. I think they're essentials.
These are yummy. These are yummy. So there are 6 new Luscious powders. I'll just pop them on here. In fact, I'll just turn them around so you can actually see the colours. There. So this one is called Vintage Rose.
That's a nice colour.
See where the camera's getting.
They're there.
I'm not very good at placing these.
No, go on,
right.
This
is why I don't have an earpiece, because I can't hear them telling me off. This one's called Blue Fuchsia. So there's a little bit of a hint of in the name of this one. This one is your Olive Grove.
Oh.
Which is a lovely, rich olive green colour.
Green.
Then we've got, this one is called Ballet Slipper. We're just going over there.
I love these names.
Kay's very good. Kay Halliwell-Sutton, who owns IndigoBlu with her husband Alfie, very good at naming things. So this one is Dragon's Eye. I do like blue. It's lovely.
If we go that one just
we could do. We can do this one at the top. This one is Lime Spritzer.
So you are going to get all of these. I can't let you know the price just yet because it's a surprise for this evening. But you are going to be getting all 6 of the all 6 of these this evening for the show. But what we're going to do is
they're very special. In fact, when you tune into the one-day special, don't buy those.
Oh. What?
Kay does this thing called the Big Kahuna Bundle. So there's a bundle that has those in it, and it has these gorgeous stamps. So I'll just show you these stamps as well. So these are, in fact, there was a little bit of show envy last month when Lou was here, and she did some of the new vintage flowers from IndigoBlu, and I've got 4 new ones. There's your dogwood. There's your vintage tulips, and they all come with a sentiment or a phrase. Deeply etched, red rubber, all scrolled, ready for you to use. Then we've got the vintage lily.
These are not, the lilies are beautiful. Once again,
red rubber. Size. Yeah. And they're all cut out for you, so you don't have to cut them out, which is lovely. Yours will be clean when you get yours. And we've got the vintage carnation. And then also in the bundle will be some handmade papers as well. So that'll be your Big Kahuna. So don't buy them.
Don't buy them on their own.
Buy the whole thing.
Whole collection. You get your red rubber stamps, and you get your powders, and you get your papers in there as well.
Yeah, it's a good bundle. Really good bundle.
6 o'clock is the hour to be, but Julie's going to play and she's going to teach. She's going to teach me.
Adam's going to have a play as well. So, have you ever used mica powders or Luscious powders before? So
this is a first.
So I'm just turning them upside down so we can see the colours properly. I can. Anyway, yes, so they are a mica powder, which is mica powders give you a shimmer.
Okay.
And the IndigoBlu ones are highly pigmented. So there's lots and lots of lovely colour coming through. They're also don't put them in your mister bottles because they are quite, for micas, they're quite large granules, so they will bung up your mister. So that's the only technique not to do. I'd forgotten that Kay told me to, so what did I do? I put it in the mister, bunged it up. Still, I spent ages trying to unbung it. In the end, I threw it in the bin and got another one out.
You don't want to bung up mister?
Don't bung it up, but you can use it in painting, on top of your stamps, with your texture paste, lots and lots of different things.
Good for backgrounds as well, I think.
Backgrounds, yeah, lots and lots of things. And also I should mention that the IndigoBlu Luscious Pigments powders, they come in a 25ml pot. This is a big pot.
Does a little go a long way with these?
Long way. Most mica powder pots that you get are 10.
Oh,
and
so
these are 2.5 times that.
So you are getting a lot.
You're getting a lot for your money, and Kay fills them up right near to the top. I've used mine a lot already, and you can see it's still got that much in. So, are we there?
There we go.
There we go. You can see there's a lot in there. Okay, so we'll be good to go. So we're going to just one of the simplest techniques of using micas.
Right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So we're using an anti-static pad first of all, because it's just I will lend. You're not doing it at the same. You're going to do it after me, aren't you?
I was just looking for the bag. That was all.
Yeah, I haven't got two of these. Oh, okay. I'm using Phil's anti-static
Lord Phil.
pad. Yeah, my mate Phil. So this will be available on the website. We're trying to use what you've got, and I'm going on to Kay's watercolour card, and that's also on the website. It's not part of the show, but you'll find it on the website. Giving it a dust, because what we're going to do is you're going to use an embossing ink. Now, embossing inks will attract your embossing powders so that you can heat set them, but they will also attract your mica powders too. Well. Yeah, so that's why we dust first of all.
Can I dust now?
You can dust now, absolutely. And we're going to use the Wow embossing pad as well, because it's my pad of choice at the moment. Choose a stamp. I'm going to go for the dogwood, because I really like all of them. And I'm popping them onto the block. Obviously, if you've got the Hampton Art Press Perfect, was it called yesterday?
Stamp Perfect yesterday.
Stamp Perfect. If you've got that coming, you can use these stamps on that as well. I did order that yesterday, because my stamp press I do not get on with at all. So I'm an acrylic block person, but I did buy that yesterday.
Can I pick another stamp?
You can pick one, but don't just do it yet.
I'll wait for you, teacher. Don't you worry.
It's just that the cameras need to catch up.
No, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just literally going to put it on my block.
Right. So lots and lots of tapping. You see, they cling to your block beautifully because they are cling-mounted stamps.
I'm waiting.
Lots and lots of tapping. And ideally you have a nice clean stamp for this, because these mica powders are duos and they're going to do something different in a minute. So give it a good old press. Remember, it's a big stamp. You know, I've got a big block.
They are good old size stamps as well. They are
lovely. Now we'll see. Hopefully we're ready for the magic in a moment. Not just yet, but in a moment. You can't see a lot just yet. This is where the magic happens. Move that out of the way.
So you can see it on your screens at the moment.
Not a lot, though. Right. Where's my brushes? There we are. Having to remember to get everything out.
Oh, no.
You can have a nice new brush.
Oh, thanks, Julie. Oh, yeah, I am. Oh.
This is just a soft brush, okay? I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for this one. This is your blue fuchsia.
Can I start stamping or do I wait?
Just wait a minute, darling, because we want to watch you.
I know
you are. You can't wait. So this is where the look at that. Look at this image.
Look at
that. Revealed. And you want this nice soft brush. You don't want a brush that you've used, you know, for your normal painting. This is a proper brush that you use for mica powders.
Oh my word.
We're just going to go over the edge. These stamps, this is why I don't want you to just buy the Luscious powders. I want you to get the bundle with the stamps on. And this is a very expensive piece of equipment, which I don't think Hochanda actually sell.
No, but I think I might start.
This is a dry wet wipe.
Dry wet wipe. I've got
So
loads of
it's
these.
the cheapest wet wipe you can get. And I know we don't normally like using these, but remember, once you've used these, you can launder these and use them again. It's just a very, very soft brush. And what we do is we just rub that over the... not a brush, is it? It's a cloth. Very, very soft cloth. And we just rub that over the surface to remove the excess mica.
Look at
and
that.
then we've got that.
That is beautiful.
Isn't it?
Look at the shine you
get
get
on
on
that. But look at the stamp. Look at the detail of the stamp. Isn't it?
That is gorgeous.
It is. It's just stunning, stunning. So I couldn't believe it when I stamped these, when I got these. I had to message Kay and tell her how stunning they were.
It does look like you've sat there and you've sketched it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's a real vintage. It's like the antique line drawings that you used to get.
That is stunning.
Isn't it? So do you want to have a go?
Yes, can
Absolutely.
I static to my cards.
Static to your card.
Right,
chosen a stamp, yeah?
Chosen my lilies.
Okay. So now lots of tapping. Don't grind it, but just lots of tapping. I know you know how to do that.
I know how to tap and not grind. It's a life lesson there as well, I feel. We're getting on Facebook. So, we can get away with this on Facebook, you see. There's loads of people watching. If you are watching on Facebook, hello.
Hi. And if you've got any of Kay's Luscious powders and you want to share... yeah, that's enough. You know, if you bought any of the vintage flower stamps last time, let us know, you know, email in.
Do email.
So pop it straight, do it straight down.
Trying it centralised.
And then hold it in the middle, and then what you do is you move your hand.
Oh, you move your hand
keep
round.
Keep one firm and move it around so you're actually touching the whole thing. then you won't rock so much if you keep one in the...
Oh, so see, if you had a stamping platform, this would be...
Easy.
If you've never done it before.
Yeah, easy.
And I haven't, this is my first. So...
Pick that up. Don't drop it. Okay, that looks wonderful. Okay, so choose yourself a powder.
Oh, I don't know. Let's go for green. Let's go for olive.
Okay. And just brush it over.
We brush it over.
Yeah.
So...
Dip it in.
A little goes a long way, you said, didn't you?
Yeah.
So then literally just brush?
Yeah. I tend to do circular motions, but... honest, they are... you're going to hear me say this an awful lot. They are absolutely stunning.
Oh, look at the magic now.
I know. It's like that. Do you remember when you were little? Did you? I don't know if they did when you were little, but when I was little, we used to get these books that were just empty. They were just white paper, and then you'd use your paintbrush with water over the top, and these images would just appear. It's that kind of thing that you get with this.
Oh my word!
Isn't it beautiful? Obviously, when you're at home, you can put any excess back in your pot. You can also put multiple colours on. So if Adam had wanted to, he could have. Usually, get rid of the excess.
I'll get rid of the excess.
What you could do is you could actually colour the flower in a different colour to your leaves. There's nothing stopping you doing that.
There's a little tiny butterfly on there as well. So if I turn that to you, look at the shimmer.
And if you wiggle that one's got kind of a little bit of gold going on in it as well.
Look at that.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
It's the detail that you get in these. And as you said, you do these in 2 or 3 colours. It's beautiful. We've had a question from Maggie.
Yeah.
You have them black.
How do you seal the paper? How do you seal the powders on the card?
To be quite honest, these aren't too bad. They're staying, but you can actually just mist them with see water. If you mix water with a mica powder, then it becomes a paint and then it's permanent. So you could mist it with water and try that, or you can get a hairspray, the cheapest hairspray possible, or a spray varnish and go over the top like that as well. Yeah.
Also,
I don't tend to, because I don't manhandle my cards, so I don't tend to. Right, we're going to use this. We don't. Let's use a different stamp.
Okay.
But we're going to use the same colour powder. So you're going to keep hold of the olive, and I'm going to keep hold of the blue fuchsia.
There's my. Right. Okay.
And I'm going to go for the. Do you want to do the tulips or the carnation
I don't
next?
know. What you go.
I'll do the tulips.
Okay, I'll do the carnation.
Yeah.
Which is that one there.
Yeah. And I'm going to...
Right, we'll watch you first before I do it again.
We're going on to black card. Again, we're going to take the anti-static and we're going to give it a dust. This is magic. It is so cool.
So the anti-static bag, does that get rid of the fingerprints and all the grease and grime?
Yeah. I mean, even if you haven't handled the card much, you don't know whether the person that's actually packaged the card in the first place has handled it. You know, you've got oils in your fingers, so it's just a good habit to get into. Once you're into the habit, you're fine. Getting into the habit is a little bit harder. I mean, some of the Wow embossing powders and Phil Martin's embossing powders, they come in a pot that is anti-static, and so is the powder itself. So that's not quite so important. But once you're in the habit, it's just a good thing to be into. Sylvia
says, I think my credit card's going to get a hammering tonight. I think you're right as well. These are amazing. Remember, though, there's the Kahuna Bundle.
Yeah, the Big Kahuna.
You'll get all the stamps and you'll get the powders as well, and you'll get some of the papers thrown in. It's well worth tuning in at 6 o'clock tonight. Remember, this is a little sneak peek. We're live on Facebook and Facebook only. So if you only have Facebook, nobody else is going to see this.
No, this has got a lovely watermark on the black, and that's a technique on its own. You know, coloured card just with the watermark. I know we can't see it very well, but it is there. It's a watermark. It's a lovely technique. Again, the detail of this stamp is just stunning. Now I'm just going to bring this one in here so you can see that that's a beautiful deep pink.
Pink, it really is.
So I'm going to brush this one over here.
Oh, look at the colour difference.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see that it's more of a blue, and that's the key, the kind of thing in the name of this one. This one is called Blue Fuchsia, and they are DuoTones, these micas.
Look at that.
Let's give that a brush.
That looks like it's been etched.
I know. I mean, thank you, Kay, for asking me to do these. These are just beautiful. I'll give those a wiggle for you.
Look at... You can really see the blue shimmer on it now.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same. That's that fuchsia pink.
The fuchsia, blue fuchsia, it's called, that one.
And that's why, look, so you get the blue on the black card, and you get the pink on the white card. So you use them on different colour cards or different backgrounds. You're really going to start getting different pigments. Or you can use different
colour inks.
Oh, yeah, so you're already really going to start picking up
Some people don't like black card. I'm comfortable with black card, but if you're not, use a black ink. Right, but do remember that if you then want to use your stamp and have the mica behave like it would do on a white card, you need to make sure you clean your stamp properly if you're using the black ink.
And how would we clean our stamps if we are getting stamps for those people that are new?
It depends on the ink that you're using. You can get stamp cleaners. Obviously, we don't really like wet wipes. If you can clean them in another way.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you can get rid of most of it just by stamping it off. I mean, distress inks are the great black ink to use because you can just wash those off underwater.
Oh, okay.
So they're a really good black ink to use, and that's what I'm tending to use. And there's a cool technique with distress inks as well that you can use with mica powders. There's so much you can do.
Is that going to be in tonight's show?
Yeah.
The day tomorrow?
Certainly at some point, yeah, we're doing it.
So stay tuned for all the different techniques. Remember, you've got all the one-day specials. It's on tonight at 6, also on 8 o'clock as well. Then tomorrow you've got it 9, 1 and 5 tomorrow. These stamp beautifully.
They are. They're just... This is me when I first got them, and because I got them on Friday when I was here, and I stamped them, and I thought, wow.
Really,
I almost did like a happy dance around the studio because they're just gorgeous.
Once you add,
so this one is a little bit the colour change isn't so obvious with this one. It is more of a gold though.
It really is.
It's a gold and green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Isn't it a cool technique to do?
It really is. And if you've never done it before,
simplest way of using mica powders.
Oh, the instant result, the instant gratification you get.
It is, that absolutely. First of all, you've got the gratification of such a stunning stamp, but then when you put that on there as well, yeah, and dust off your excess.
Could you use coloured ink if you wanted to?
Yes, absolutely, of course you could, absolutely. And then you might get kind of tones in between, because obviously we're going black to white card, but different colour cards in between, you could get different tones.
Look at that gold
They're called
shimmer.
duos. Kay calls them Luscious duos.
On the black, that was on the white. Look at the difference you're getting. It's only a subtle difference. But you get the green. Remember that was that olive green that we used, and then you got the gold as well. Absolutely.
It's called interference mica. That's what causes it.
And it really does.
Yeah, it really interferes.
That is amazing.
So we're doing a bit of painting now.
Oh.
Let's do a bit of painting. Let's get rid of that. Don't need that for now. Okay, so I've given you one of the dogwood roses to have a little colour in. And we'll just move those out of the way. So all I've done with these is, again, I've used the Kay's watercolour card, and I've stamped it with VersaFine, the VersaClear Nocturne, and I've added some of Phil Martin's super clear, crystal clear embossing powder on the top.
Look at that.
Right, so we've got a little pot of water here, and I'm using a palette, and we'll kind of share a palette.
Okay.
And all you do to create a paint, and I'll pick one that hasn't got much in, that one hasn't got very much in. If you just take a wet paintbrush or damp paintbrush, don't have loads of water coming off of it, dip it into your Luscious, and then you can add a little bit more water. Are we not in the right place?
Oh no, they're going to come to us. They're going to come to us.
Okay, sorry, I wanted to put it between. Sorry. Okay, so then you add as much water as you... The standard watercolour techniques apply. You add as much water as you want, and then give it a good old mix. You can see in my palette, I've got various other colours here, and these are set down. So these were like this. These were paint. Watercolour sets down in the water evaporates. So all you need to do is add more water to it to get them going again. Okay.
Okay.
So then we can go to our image and paint. Now you'll see that the lines repel the water. You can do a different colour if you want to, do whatever colour you like. They repel the water because the embossing powder has created a resist. That means that colouring is actually super quick.
And
it's cool, isn't it?
It really is. We've got about 5 minutes left, what we've got. So we haven't got long on this Facebook. Remember, where does time go? We've been here nearly half hour.
We haven't.
We have.
We never have.
We have.
You're making that up.
I'm really not. 20 minutes has gone already.
Has it?
Add more water, don't I?
This is quite an easy colouring in to do because you know you don't have to worry about the lines. Any excess that sits on the top, because it will dry on the top, you can just blot it off with a bit of kitchen roll if you want to.
I see what you mean about it really does repel.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah.
So you really can go to town with this. Remember, tonight, 6 o'clock, everything will be revealed. All your prices will be revealed as well. I love this because this is so quick and easy to colour in now.
It is. But it just adds, because sometimes I think when you've got a drawing that's as detailed as this, sometimes you can detract from that image when you start to colour it in. But with these powders are so beautiful that I think it just adds to it.
It really does, because you also still get that shimmer in there as well.
You do.
It really does. We have got look how quick and easy
It's
you
lovely
can
in the blue, isn't it?
You get
that blue's
so many
beautiful.
different colours
That's
as
the
well
dragon's
on
eye.
there.
There will be a pick and mix as well on tonight, where we've got some of the other Luscious powders that Kay's bought out that you can do a little pick and mix on. I think some of the new ones might be in that pick and mix, but obviously the saving's going to be in the one day special in the Big Kahuna.
So if I was you, I would really start getting involved with it. We've had so many lovely comments though. Beautiful colours. That is gorgeous. Would like the full bundle. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful. We'll definitely be watching tonight, 6 p.m. Tune in, Hochanda, or online.
Yeah.
That's IndigoBlu. Oh, they're watching as well. Hi,
hi, Kay. Hi, Sue.
They're all watching. Love that one. This is amazing. I think I need to get myself this. I think my credit card's going to take a bashing. I don't think I'm going to have any money left at the end of the hour. This is one not to be missed. I'm going to have to put the dinner on early so I can now start watching the show and get settled down.
Yeah, you might want to be in on that first hour. You might want to be in on that.
By the sounds of it, this is going to be a busy old one-day special. Remember, every hour, am I right in saying every hour you're going to try and do different techniques?
I'm going to do as many techniques as I can. Obviously get through all the stamps, because we do have the stamps that Lou had on a while ago. We do have those back on as well, and obviously I want to show you all of them and make sure you know exactly what's on the show. So I'm going to do as much as I can. Obviously there's only so many techniques, but you know I've got more than this.
You are. There is so much. There's only so much we can do as well on a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Otherwise we could be all day. This could be
if you've any questions later, you know, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I wonder if, just email in and we'll try and answer them on the live hours later.
That is a good idea. If you're watching this now going, I'd love to know, I would want to try that, but I don't know if it does this. I'd like to have a go, but if you've got one of them buts, drop us an email at studio@hochanda.com, and later on we'll print them all off and we'll pop them to Julie, and then she'll try and answer them during the live hour as well. If that's what's sticking you on the fence and you're thinking, I'd love to have a go, but I haven't got that, or I haven't got this, can I use that instead? Email us. That's what we're here for. That's what we bring all these experts in for, to answer the questions that you want to ask. Please do use them. Very, very busy this is going to be tonight. Remember, you're getting your £6 and you're going to get your stamps and some papers thrown in. I'm sure there'll be a pick and mix in there as well.
There is, definitely.
There's so much. Those stamps, though, once again, look at what you can create.
Just really easily.
And this was in 20 minutes we made some of these.
But also, you know, like we're doing now where we're colouring in, you can have like a stamping and embossing session, teeth in, and then just have a quick colouring in session. And honestly, and the design team, the IndigoBlu design team, are awesome. And we have some beautiful samples to show you.
You really do. There are, and then You could stamp away to your heart
So
content,
it's
then
not
spend
quite
a
dry
night.
yet, but I mean, look, it's just
look
and you can see where
at
the light's catching, where the around where the blacker areas are, and it's a bit blue. That's stunning. The powders are stunning, the stamps are stunning, everything's just stunning.
It is all stunning, and it's one not to be missed this evening, 6 o'clock, the live launch, IndigoBlu, one not to be missed. Count down, set your watches, set your timers. Do not miss out on this, because I think you're in for a busy night this evening. Very busy across the board. You can look on the website, it might be on there, but I don't think you'll be able to buy it because the prices won't have dropped.
No, wait until 6 and then get the Big Kahuna.
And get the Big Kahuna. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for watching, all your lovely comments. Thank you as well for teaching me. This is a beautiful little lesson.
Thank you, Adam.
And we'll see you later.
guys.
Bye now.